Howdy folks, my name is Terry, and here on the Geek and Sundry Vlogs channel I talk about miniature wargaming. I thought today I would share with you a few tips and techniques that I have accumulated over my years in being involved in the hobby that have helped simplify my wargaming life. The first tip is to shop the makeup aisle of your drugstore for hobby supplies. I'm not just talking about my really beloved e.l.f. contour brush, which was a really terrible and scratchy eyeshadow brush, now turned into the best dry brush I have ever used in my life, because this $3 brush has outperformed the $10+ Games Workshop dry brush, but because there are a lot of alternative products out there to help add some options in creating different effects in your modeling. I love these really cheap eyeshadow applicators that you can get in that drugstore section. They're fantastic for detailed application of pigments and weathering powders onto models. Latex sponge wedges like these are fantastic not only for doing some broad application of those same weathering powders, but also for tearing up and using small sections of to stipple on battle damage and weathering onto tanks and armor. Another hack is to pick up a drill bit and magnet set together when you want to do some magnetization for weapon options or hand options for various models. These kits include a drill bit and magnets that are the same size in terms of diameter, so you'll always have a perfect fit. But that's not the hack. The hack is to take some paint or brightly colored marker and actually mark off the depth or height of the magnet onto the drill bit, so that when you actually drill with the bit, you drill the perfect depth every time. It's totally better than just guessing when you do it. Now, poster tack is one of my favorite hobby tools ever. I have used it in various tutorials. This is a fantastic product, and I do suggest you pick it up and use it for all of those techniques and more. I've even brought it with me to tournaments and used it as like a emergency magnet to hold models together when I have had them break in the middle of the game rather than trying to fumble with the super glue and accelerant. This is definitely the way to go. One thing that really simplified my painting area was to label every one of my paint bottles on the top with the color of the paint inside, so that when you have them in like a drawer storage, you can actually look at the top and see what they are. This is less useful for the new Games Workshop kind of bottles, but if you're using these eyedropper style paints, put a little drop of paint on the top and it really help you figure out what color is in that bottle. Another thing to do with those bottles is to cut up bits of sprue into them to help make little agitators inside the paint bottle, so that when you shake them up, you're actually shaking up the paint really well inside. If you're like me and you don't like stepping on little spiky bits of plastic that have gone loose in your hobby area, instead of cutting them with a pair of clippers, you can spread a strip of poster tack onto a cutting mat and use your X-Acto knife to chop up those bits of sprues before you put them into the pot of paint. There's a bonus hack for you. Now you can make a 3-cent wet palette on just about any surface with a little bit of paper towel and parchment paper. I started by using the lid of an old yogurt container, but you can use a disposable plate or whatever else you happen to have on hand. Cut out some paper towel and the parchment in the shape of whatever you're using, dampen the paper towel, and then put the parchment on top. Add a couple drops of water on top of the parchment paper and mix your paints right on it. They won't dry up as quickly on you and they'll be easier to blend. Now, plano style tackle boxes in the fishing hobby supply section of your stores or bead boxes sold in Michael's are fantastic containers for various hobby goodness. My favorite thing to do with them is to build a work in progress box that allows me to put some work in progress models as well as the paints used on those models and some brushes in the same box. You just need to add a cup of water and you're ready to get painting no matter where. This is perfect for those of you who only have 10 or 15 minutes of hobby time at any one point, because you can start painting immediately and get a little bit of progress done on any of your models really quickly. Finally, here's a tip for those of you who happen to play using models with square bases on movement trays. If you have models that tend to tip over and fall off while you move them on slight inclines, try sticking some rare earth magnets in the bases of the models and stick a sheet of fridge magnet that you can get with the sticker side on one end inside the movement tray. You can hold this whole model setup upside down and the models will fall off. Check out Christina's death roller, which she sent to me over Facebook. As always, if you have a particular model or gaming project you're especially proud of, send them to me via social media. All info is in the doobly-doo below, and you might see them featured in these videos. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite hobby hack happens to be. While you are down there, don't forget to hit the like button to like this video and subscribe to the Geek and Sundry Vlogs channel if you aren't already, because there's lots of geeky goodness happening around here, like Paul Mason, the nerd crafter who happened to make the coolest BMO coaster just yesterday. Until next time, I'll see you soon.